Clearwater, Florida, a city known for its sun-drenched beaches and vibrant life. But beneath the surface, darkness festered. Marcus Blake was born into this world in the quiet suburbs, his life a stark contrast to the city's cheerful facade. His childhood was marred by neglect, an absent father, a mother struggling with addiction. Young Marcus retreated inward. He found solace in his own thoughts, a dangerous world that began to take shape. Books about serial killers lined his shelves. He devoured true crime documentaries, his fascination morphing into something sinister. The line between fantasy and reality blurred. Marcus became a ghost, drifting through school hallways unnoticed. His gaze, cold and calculating, betrayed the darkness blooming within. Clearwater remained oblivious, unaware a predator was walking among them. The seeds of evil had been sown, waiting for the right moment to sprout. The air crackled with anticipation. It was July 4th, 1994. Fireworks painted the night sky above Clearwater, reflecting in the wide eyes of children and families gathered below. But for Sarah Miller, a young waitress with dreams as big as the ocean, the night would end in a symphony of sirens. Sarah had closed up at the diner, her heart light with the promise of the holiday. She walked home beneath the fireworks, unaware that she was being followed. Marcus Blake, hidden in the shadows, watched her every move. His heart pounded, not with excitement, but with a dreadful anticipation. He attacked her in a secluded alley, the joyous pops of fireworks masking her screams. The night of celebration turned into a night of horror. When morning arrived, Clearwater awoke to the news. Sarah Miller was dead, her life, full of promise, brutally cut short. Fear gripped the city, a chilling reminder that darkness could lurk even in paradise. News of Sarah Miller's murder spread like wildfire. The idyllic image of Clearwater shattered, replaced by fear and suspicion. Neighbors, once friendly and trusting, now eyed each other with apprehension. The carefree atmosphere evaporated, replaced by an unsettling tension. The police worked tirelessly, desperate to find Sarah's killer. They followed every lead, every whisper, every fleeting shadow, but the killer, a phantom in the night, left no trace. Days turned into weeks, each one heavier than the last. The city held its breath, united in grief and paranoia. The question haunted everyone: who was the monster in their midst? Parents kept their children close, their eyes scanning the streets for any sign of danger. The once vibrant city felt like a ghost town shrouded in fear. Clearwater was trapped in a nightmare, desperate for answers that seemed just out of reach. Weeks crawled by, each one a painful reminder of the unsolved murder. The investigation seemed to be at a standstill. Leads dried up, hope dwindled, then a breakthrough. A crumpled, blood-soaked scarf was discovered in a dumpster near the crime scene. Forensic analysis confirmed the blood belonged to Sarah Miller. The scarf, a man's, bore a distinctive pattern, a single clue in a sea of dead ends. Detectives clung to it, their only tangible link to the killer. They canvassed every store, every vendor, searching for the source of the scarf. The pressure mounted, the media scrutiny intensified. Clearwater, desperate for justice, watched and waited. The discovery of the scarf, while a small victory, injected a much-needed dose of hope. It was a crack in the killer's armor, a chance to bring him to justice. Section 5. The walls close in. The capture of Marcus Blake. The break in the case came from an unlikely source, a pawn shop owner. He recognized the distinctive pattern on the scarf from a recent transaction. He remembered the man who pawned it, his face etched in his memory, Marcus Blake. The police descended upon Blake's apartment. He was there, a ghost in his own right, surrounded by true crime novels and newspaper clippings about Sarah's murder. His eyes, devoid of remorse, met theirs. The arrest was swift, the evidence undeniable. The news of Blake's arrest spread through Clearwater like a tidal wave. Relief, disbelief, and a thirst for justice washed over the community. The man who had haunted their dreams was finally caught. The city dared to breathe again. Section 6. The confession, a glimpse into the mind of a monster. Marcus Blake, once a phantom, sat in the interrogation room. His demeanor was chillingly calm, his voice flat as he confessed to the murder of Sarah Miller. He described the act in graphic detail, his words sending chills down the spines of seasoned detectives. He spoke of his fascination with death, his twisted desire to control it. He admitted to stalking Sarah, watching her, choosing her as his victim. His confession was a window into the mind of a monster, a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface. The detectives listened, horrified and captivated. They had their man, his guilt undeniable. But the confession, while bringing a sense of closure, also opened a Pandora's box of disturbing truths. Marcus Blake was a predator, his appetite for violence far from satiated. Section 7, Justice for Clearwater, the trial of Marcus Blake. The trial of Marcus Blake captivated Clearwater and beyond. The courtroom became a stage for a community's pain, a battleground for justice. The prosecution meticulously laid out their case, presenting DNA evidence, witness testimonies, and Blake's chilling confession. They painted a picture of a cold, calculating killer, driven by a perverse desire to inflict pain. The defense, fighting an uphill battle, attempted to portray Blake as a victim himself, a product of his troubled upbringing. But the evidence was overwhelming. Clearwater watched, every word, every detail scrutinized. The trial became a communal experience, a shared journey towards justice. The city held its breath, hoping against hope that the jury would see the truth. Section 8. Voices of the fallen victims' families testify. The emotional heart of the trial came from the victims' families. Sarah Miller's parents took the stand, their voices trembling with grief and anger as they spoke of their daughter. They shared stories of her kindness, her laughter, her dreams. Their words painted a vivid picture of the life stolen, the future erased. The courtroom fell silent, tears streaming down faces. The weight of their loss, their pain, hung heavy in the air. It was a stark reminder of the human cost of Blake's crimes. Their testimonies transcended legal arguments. They gave a voice to the voiceless, humanizing the tragedy. They reminded everyone that this was not just a case, but a life cut short, a family forever broken. Section 9. The verdict, guilty as charged. After weeks of testimony, the jury deliberated. The tension in the courtroom was palpable. Clearwater held its breath, waiting for the verdict. Days later, it came, guilty on all counts. Marcus Blake, the monster who had terrorized their community, was finally brought to justice. A collective gasp filled the courtroom. Tears flowed freely, a mixture of relief, grief, and a sliver of hope. The verdict brought a sense of closure, but it couldn't erase the pain. It couldn't bring back Sarah Miller, but it was a victory nonetheless. A victory for justice, for the victims, for a community that had been through hell and back. The sentence, life in prison without the possibility of parole, ensured that Marcus Blake would never hurt anyone ever again. Section 10. Scars of a Nightmare, the aftermath and legacy of Marcus Blake. The trial ended, but the scars remained. Clearwater, forever changed, began the slow process of healing. The fear that had gripped the city slowly dissipated, replaced by a quiet determination to honor the memory of those lost. Sarah Miller's name became synonymous with both tragedy and resilience. The community rallied around her family, offering support and solace. Memorials were erected, scholarships established, her memory kept alive in every act of kindness, every smile beneath the Clearwater sun. Marcus Blake, condemned to a life behind bars, faded into obscurity. His name became synonymous with evil, a cautionary tale whispered in the shadows. But Clearwater chose to focus on the light, on the enduring spirit of their community. Section 11, In Memoriam, honoring the victims and the pursuit of justice. The story of Marcus Blake is a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk in the most unexpected places. It's a story of loss, of fear, but ultimately of resilience. Clearwater, forever scarred, emerged from the nightmare stronger, more united. The victims, forever in their hearts, became symbols of the city's spirit. Their memory fueled a collective determination to seek justice, to protect the innocent, to ensure that such darkness would never again extinguish the light of their beloved city. Let their story serve as a reminder that even in the face of unimaginable evil, hope endures. Let their memory inspire us to cherish life, to stand up for what is right, and to never ever forget the victims.